That was good fun.
It was fucking weird.
He turned his son into a dish rag.
That was hilarious. They call that technique dress.
Turn him into a dress.
They call that technique dress. You basically grab a motherfucker and you start using them like nunchucks, and you can use them to like whip people around and throw them at high velocity at things and stuff like that.
Bro, this
Yes, it is.
That's so many levels of disrespect.
It is disrespectful.
Parents.
Well, I wanted to start with fathers first and then do mothers or whatever.
Okay. Oh. I thought we did fathers already.
Well, to be honest with you, as I edited that episode, it was just kind of a side note compared to what we were talking about already. And I decided it was cool enough of a topic to really just be its own video. So we could go, let's just pretend like that never happened. We really could just go down the list and stuff like that and talk about fathers this time. Yeah, you were going to start with fathers because it's almost Father's Day. I feel like Carl should bring it up because he is the one who brought it up in our the villains episode.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
So Tucker.
Yeah. Shout out Tucker. The man who turned his own daughter into a chimera. After he turned his wife into a chimera, so you know, all around fucking scumbag.
Total fucking scumbag.
Right, it's like you can't get no worse. Like your whole job as a parent is to protect your child. You were so desperate to keep your funding, turned your daughter into a chimera. That talked. And you used her dog. It's like, how you use man's best friend and your child?
Please help me. That's
like,
so
you could at least took some rando off the street. Like
oh,
you work. Okay, this is gonna get dark for a second. You work for the government. Your government could have picked up some random off the street or a war crime prisoner.
Get a Shambhala. Were they extinct at the time?
No.
Yeah, I get it. That's
I don't
fucked
think
up.
so.
That's racist and fucked up.
Oh, like I said, this
Free the Shambhalans.
It's gonna get a little dark. They could have done anybody.
Free the Shambhalans.
It was your daughter. Yeah. I know there was homeless people back then.
No.
That's really messed up. But like of all people, you was your daughter. That's automatic.
Plus your dog.
And this is why, to this day, this is one of the most hated anime characters out there. Period. Being honest, like how many people like not just anime, just characters. Period. Anybody that knows who this is has watched that episode hates this man.
It's like one of my favorite twists though. Also,
it is
because it's like the way they set it up. It's like they're ultra lovable. Her, the dog, the father's unassuming. He's just kind of a nerd. You don't really like suspect much out of him. But then when that moment goes down, and then you like look as an anime fan, you're just sort of like sitting there, and you're just sort of like, no,
right,
you didn't,
right. And but that does go to show you that even the kindest people can very easily be very dark and twisted. Let's keep it real. Most serial killers are able to disguise and hide themselves very well.
Yeah, Ted Bundy was like very charismatic.
So, that goes to show you there's a little bit of darkness in everybody. Sometimes that darkness is a little bit extreme.
Alright.
It's very extreme.
Fucking Vegeta.
You said Vegeta.
Vegeta?
He's my fucking role model. Yeah, he's my fucking role model.
Are we doing worse?
Isn't Goku a worse dad than Vegeta?
No, not even fucking close.
Why do you say that?
Alright, Vegeta for one, he basically sold his soul to Bobby. Got the Martin Moonward. During the tournament, he killed half the fucking stadium. On a fucking whim, fellas.
But
his kid
that
was
making him a
right.
bad dad.
Yeah, I was gonna say that wasn't parenting though.
He didn't kill his kid.
Was Baby
Nothing
Shark
though.
then?
Android Sonic. Trunks told him, just kill him. He could have ended the whole. Gohan didn't have to go through that shit. He beat up his own son to let the villain power up.
I got it, but that tracks for a Saiyan though.
That's some bullshit.
I don't think that I think Goku's the worst dad than Vegeta.
Let's keep it real, cause there was that episode Vegeta was like, "You landed a hit on me, I'll take you out to the park and play." Man kept his word. The only time Goku visits his kids is when he's dead and in heaven.
What about in
and
Dragon
it's like
Ball?
they get to go to another fight.
What about in Dragon Ball Super where they got offered training from Whis and Vegeta was like, I don't know, man, I got Bulma and my kids, and Goku was literally said to this man, "Oh, Vegeta, you want to give up training and go hang out with your family?" Now hold on, I've talked about in another video how I hate how they downplayed Super Goku and made him dumber, because I felt like that was out of character for Goku, because I feel like this is a character that previously loved his family. So for him to say that was some I don't know.
Unless, also keep it real, like, Vegeta didn't fight Beerus because he hit Bulma.
I was his old lady and she was pregnant. I would have did the same thing.
Father, protecting his unborn child and his old lady, went to fight a god of destruction.
If you're gonna be
a man he was terrified of.
If we're gonna be really real, everybody knows this, but Piccolo was Gohan's dad, not Goku. Goku's his biological dad, but Piccolo is like his dad.
Piccolo's the man that stepped up.
It's crazy how Piccolo's like one of the few people that didn't have a kid.
Well, they reproduce asexually, I believe. He could like spit an egg out if he felt like it, but Piccolo's probably got a long life ahead of him. He's probably not worried about it yet.
Yeah, the Namekians did live a long ass time, didn't they?
Yeah, once he starts looking more like Kami, then maybe we'll see Piccolo spit an egg out, but Piccolo has not aged since Dragon Ball, the original.
How old are how long can the Namekians live?
We don't really know, but we know that they grow very fast because in Dragon Ball, Piccolo grew up and caught up. Goku was already a teenager by the time, not a teenager, he was a child, like maybe 7, 8, by the time he beat King Piccolo. He spit out that egg then. So by the time Goku was a teenager, Piccolo Jr. was also the same age. So he caught up with him age-wise in just a few years.
Yeah.
So we know that they grow fast, but we don't know how long they
Damn, I used to love watching the original Dragon Ball.
There's that elder, the guy who would power people up. We would assume that he's lived for a very long time.
They kind of said that he had been around for like a long time. I don't think they specified how long. But it's safe to assume he was probably thousands, if not billions of years.
I would say if Roshi could live to 200 or 300, then I would say that the Namekians could probably live to like 1,000.
So they're like elves to us, dude.
I guess so. This isn't really confirmed nothing. You know, Dragon Ball just be pulling shit out of the ass sometimes.
Way out there.
Alright, so
That
that's
shit
also
got-
But
Fucking Terminator.
so he says Vegeta, I say Goku. But that's fine. You got one?
Worst anime dad. Hohenheim. I don't know how we talk about Full Metal Alchemist and we don't talk about Hohenheim. When Hohenheim, yes. Hohenheim is a hoe. Hohenheim. That's why he's called Hohenheim.
Why do you say he's a hoe though?
Because he a hoe.
Well,
You abandoned your family. Left all your notes on alchemy around so your sons could find them. They find them. We can blame Hohenheim for the death of his wife.
Yeah,
When he
blame
left,
her.
she went into depression. She died.
But he just didn't leave for no apparent reason, though. He saved the fucking world.
He a hoe.
Decades later.
You choose your family over saving the world every time. I don't give a fuck what's going on in the world. I'm gonna choose my family over the world. every single time.
Wait. That is the difference between a hero and a villain, though.
Then I guess
That's a tough one though. Also,
You know, a hero will sacrifice.
Well,
he could have left them a letter though.
Yeah.
he a hoe.
He could. I told her to do that. Hey, look, he could have left him a letter. Like, hey, look,
You could have got the
I got
fucking
shit going
alchemy
on. Life
notes.
is complicated.
You could have took the fucking alchemy notes out of the fucking house so your small children who are already
Alright, if you would've
demonstrating the
did that-
aptitude. Hold on. Your small children already demonstrating the aptitude for alchemy. You leave all these fucking alchemic notes in the house, then the kids fucking try to transmute human life and fuck their whole lives up. Hohenheim's a terrible father. There's no way you can. Him saving the world does not make him a better father. It makes him.
Alright.
You save the world.
Alright.
But you're a terrible dad.
Okay, so it was his Papa's wife was suppressed.
What do you think happens if you marry somebody
Is that
and
why
you
she-
have children with that person and
No,
then
she was
you
like
leave
6.
them?
What if he left her a letter saying, "Hey, I got shit to do. I'm sorry, but yeah." Trust me, it's very important.
That might have changed the tenor of the
He
situation.
just disappeared.
But he just literally just disappeared. Literally just vanishes. Walks out one day, never comes home. Dad went to go find
I
him.
mean,
never comes back.
if you would have told him what's going on, they were trying to kill him.
But that's still not justification for him abandoning his family. And then he never went back to him. It would be one thing if after he saved the world, he went back to his family because I want to go back to my family. But he never goes back to his family ever
He was
again.
busy.
He never goes back to him.
He was busy.
By the time he finished, though, wasn't they gone?
By the time he finished, they were still there.
To be honest, I actually don't like him at all either. So I don't know why I'm playing devil's advocate. I think it's a hoe too. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that Full Metal Alchemist is a good anime. You have to understand that they make it so that there's tough decisions out there. But my whole problem with him is not necessarily like his choices, just how he went about it.
I just watched your next.
Terrible father?
Yeah.
Fucking Endeavor.
That's his universal terrible father. He's a terrible.
So tell me the story. I don't watch My Hero. You gotta tell me. So that's the Todoroki's dad.
Todoroki's dad.
Todoroki.
He got 2 other kids. He made his wife go fucking crazy. One of his kids blew himself up. Turned out to be he came out to be one of the worst villains they ever fucking saw. Dobby is like one of my favorite villains because like
Dobby is
The little flame brother.
yes.
He's that
Which
patchwork
kind of
has
makes
the
sense.
fire.
And he's
which
fucking
makes sense. Cause
he's just as broken as the little brother.
Yeah, except his fire has his fire like cremates. His fire is designed to turn you into ash. So like,
This shit, dude.
don't get hit with that shit.
So
And now he had ice power.
Endeavor
Yeah, so-
Endeavor was constantly stuck at number 2 behind Homer. He just wanted to be the strongest villain. And eventually he was just like, correct me if I'm wrong, if I can't be the strongest villain, my kids will be. So his wife had ice powers.
He chose his wife only because she had ice powers. It was like some eugenics shit.
Didn't he have like 7 kids though?
No, he
Wait,
had-
Endeavor was a villain?
No, Endeavor was a
Endeavor's
hero.
the guy. You said villain. No, you okay. That's why you got confused.
He might as well be.
Yeah, he should be a villain.
What he did to the
Endeavor,
older
like,
son. What he did to Dobby.
he did this eugenics shit where this arranged marriage eugenics shit where he married the girl he married not because he loved her but because she had the ice quirk that he wanted, and he figured his problem is when he uses his quirk he overheats and he can't just use his quirk as he wants to. He's not like Sunspot in X-Men where Sunspot can just shoot fire all the fuck he wants to with Johnny Storm, where he like, fuck, I'm just gonna use fire, nigga, what the fuck, what do you mean? He overheats after a while. So he figured if he married somebody with an ice quirk, they would create somebody that could just use fire and they would never overheat because they have that code in them also to kind of like give them like the perfect fire quirk. So he on some weird eugenic shit. Yeah, it is true. That was a great idea.
Yeah, which ended up happening with Todoroki, which of course once you first see him, he ends up suppressing his ice powers heavily.
No, it's fire power.
Yeah, he suppressed his firepower.
I'm sorry,
Only uses ice.
I'm backwards. He suppresses his fire powers, only uses ice power. But the first time you seen him use his fucking both powers together, he was fucking
I'm
powerful.
gonna tell you, in the final war, I just want to get y'all this little part. In the final war, he fighting Dobby, so he do this move where he like balances the fire and the ice in himself. It's called the phosphor fist or something like that. I forgot what he called it. It was phosphorus or something like that. The nigga then like drops like a star of ice from the sky, like a grenade star of ice from the sky. It freezes most of the city, like just off the rip, boom. Like most of the city just freezes it outright. And they had this great ass panel of like him standing over Dobby, and Dobby like.
But you know, one of the crazy thing is, so for everything we've seen from My Hero so far, it's like most of the time you see an anime, you don't really see them in school. And which I love about this is because we're seeing them from, they were born with their powers.
Whoa. We supposed to talk about how fucked up Endeavor is.
We are.
Oh yeah, true fact.
We are.
Now back to the subject. This motherfucker made his wife, his old lady, go crazy to burn his fucking son with hot fucking water.
Fair.
You know how fucking fucked
He
up
now
that?
has a permanent scar across his eye.
Permanent scar. This motherfucker was still in the goddamn psych ward in the fucking anime.
Yeah.
And
He
never
drove his
was
wife
really
crazy.
And she still loved this motherfucker. Like, she actually loved his asshole. And that's the fucked up part. But
They
he
like
made his
came
son.
together as a family to stop Dobby.
They looked for this nigga for like one job for 1 week.
And it's funny though because all of his other kids have like really weak powers.
And it isn't that they
Because
have
they're
weak
blended.
powers; they have ice powers.
But isn't their powers like not really that powerful because of
Yeah.
the combination of the two?
It's
of them?
not. It's just not. They both got ice quirks like their mother, but they're not strong ice quirks. And so that's kind of like the difference. Dobby did get the firepower from his father, but he didn't have the way to cool himself off that the dad hoped he would
Which is
have.
why he was burning himself.
Right. His firepower was many, many times stronger than Endeavor's. But Endeavor, the real fucked up thing that Endeavor did to Dobby was when he saw that Dobby wasn't the one he wanted him to be,
He stopped paying no attention.
he stopped paying him any attention, stopped training them, stopped everything, and started having more babies. Dobby is old enough at this point to see this and understand it for what it is on being abandoned. So he keeps trying to train and be stronger to get his dad's attention.
Fuck this
But
up.
Endeavor won't give
Yeah,
him the attention.
am I
And
tripping or is he
eventually
like not
fucks himself up.
exactly immune to his fire?
He's not.
So like he like those burns are actually just like straight
Yeah,
up burns.
because he
on the
has
body.
no way to cool himself off. So his fire, it don't just burn you to ashes, it burns him too. So like,
So it looks like he really just has like a bunch of dead flesh all over his body.
This is good.
it's really fucked up. He neglects Toya. Before he became Dobby, he was Toya. He neglects Toya when the two that he has after Toya don't have the quirk he wants them to have. He abandons and neglects them too. And then when our boy Todoroki comes, that's the one he pays attention to. Dobby's still there though the whole time, so Dobby's like jealous of his baby brother because it's like, bro, you get the attention. You the one that gets all the attention. He's a shitty dad. Like Endeavor's one of the worst dads ever. You are definitely right on there. He's a shit dad. The worst father.
Oh, for me, Yujiro Hama from Baki. He was the strongest man in the world. He had enough strength to defeat the U.S. military by himself. Went and had a baby with a woman that he thought might be as psychopathic as he was. And he was just sort of like, yeah, I'm gonna go do my thing, make him strong. So this woman is an absolute psychopath, and she trains Baki up with like some of the best fight tutors around the world and stuff like that, and doesn't give him any real love. His only desire is to like get strong for them and stuff like that. Yujiro comes back. It's just sort of like, I'm gonna fight him tomorrow, and if he's not strong enough, then you know what I'm saying, you know. And then I think there was a certain point too where she was trying to like love on him, and he was just sort of like, nah, dude, get out of my room and shit. Like, I don't know about this one. He might be kind of weak. You need to get the fuck away from me. So like after that, she like goes ham on Baki, and so we're gonna talk about her too when we get to the mothers. Okay. So she goes ham and like slaps him around and shit like that, and he's just confused. So he fights Yujiro, loses tremendously, and then like while Yujiro's pounding him into the ground to the point where he's about to kill him, he's just like, you know, over and over again. She finally decides she wants to be a mother and steps in and slaps the shit out of him, like, leave him alone. So Yujiro's just sort of like, oh, okay, you put hands on me, that's cool. So he like gives her a hug and hugs her to death in front of Baki. And Baki's already beaten to the point where he can't move. Then after that, Yujiro decides to whoop everybody's ass in the area.
I remember
For real?
That's in the original Baki series.
Mm-hmm. This is just Baki the Grappler.
Yeah.
He also had another son. There was this U.S. operative working with him, but she turned out to be a spy. And when he found out that she was a traitor, he like her. Oh shit, you can't say that on YouTube. That's okay, I got editing. Jack Hanma. And he like trained so hard that he destroyed his body, so he started relying on like prosthetics and steroids and stuff like that.
Made himself taller, gave himself more muscles.
I think Yujiro actually becomes more of an anti-hero as the show goes on.
No.
Like in the beginning of the show, he's like Nemesis, but like you say no, that's fine. It's okay.
He's
to
just a
disagree.
menace.
He is still a menace, but like I feel like he's slightly more. He calms down a little
You
bit.
think he would have beat
he
him?
fought Baki recently.
That was a good fight.
That was a good fight.
It was fucking weird.
Baki
He turned his son into a dish rag and slung him.
That was hilarious. They call that technique
Turned him
dress.
into a dress.
They call that technique dress. You basically grab a motherfucker and you start using them like nunchucks, and you can use them to like whip people around and throw them at high velocity at things and stuff like that.
Bro, that's
He like
Yes, it is.
That's so many levels of disrespect.
It is disrespectful.
Now, mind you, there's like a whole crowd because they fighting in the middle of the city, so there's a whole crowd gathered around to watch Yujiro and Baki scrap. And Yujiro's putting them fucking paws on his son, throwing them through cars and shit. He put a pretty nasty ass whooping on him. That ass whooping was pretty fierce.
Baki is like one of the strangest animes I've ever seen. I'm not gonna lie, but the fights are very entertaining.
Yeah.
The fights always give me a good time. And the fights don't make sense a lot of the times either. Because this is like one of those fights where they were like, it was like they were playing horse.
Yeah.
It's like, look at this technique, and Baki's like, okay, I can do that shit. You're like, all right, look at, and this is why this doesn't work on me. All right, look at this technique, and be like, okay, Baki can do, he'd be like, okay, I can do this shit, and Yujiro would be like, okay, that's why this doesn't work on me. It just went on like that for a while, and it was just hilarious. And then like the granddad shows up as a ghost,
Yeah.
and he's like supposed to be even stronger or something. And he's
Yeah.
like, Baki, you can whoop his ass, which doesn't happen, but Baki shows his father that he's got the power of imagination, and he like forces him to like
Eat a imaginary bowl of ramen or
Yeah.
some shit.
And Yujiro is just sort of like, that was so spectacular that you basically win. But if you look at it from just a fighting point of view, I don't think Baki won in any sort of way.
No.
He told this motherfucker to stand up straight, and Baki stood up straight involuntarily.
Spanks him
Yeah, out of a window.
out the window.
That's how the fight starts.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. But Yujiro's a bad
I think
guy.
he like carried him at the end, didn't he?
Yeah, he declared him the second.
Made his son girlfriend come out there and ask him to stop the shit. And talk shit to her.
You remember the time that they were about to lose their virginities to each other, and then Yujiro popped up in the room talking about, oh yeah, son, fuck the shit out of her, it makes you stronger as a man. You got my total blessing. And he just leaves, and they're just sort of like, what just happened? You remember that shit?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Because it's Yujiro, man.
Oh, this man Yujiro ripped somebody's face off in the middle of a tournament and threw it at the crowd. You remember that shit?
Hell yeah.
That's insane.
He ripped the man's face off with a finger.
That's a pretty fucked up guy.
Just ripped the shit off. And threw it back at him. He ran at him. He knocked it off again and threw it in the fucking crowd. That shit was pretty damn good. He like slapped his son through a whole fucking stone wall during the tournament and
Oh,
shit.
yeah, that was funny. He's like, don't you ever fucking try to act like you're stronger than me.
He beat the fuck out of the old man.
Yeah, that the Chinese master probably gave Yujiro the best fight that we've ever seen in the series. Yeah, the king, Sea King, something. But he declared Yujiro as a Sea King too. Like he was just like, yeah, you Chinese consider you a martial arts master. And so who's got bad dads?
Mine would be Game Freaks.
Game from
Yeah, he was
Hunter,
on all this
absolutely.
too.
Yeah.
That nigga's a terrible fucking father.
His son didn't kill himself.
Your son damn near killed himself. You ain't even go see him in the hospital.
He was looking like a living corpse. I don't know if y'all seen
Yeah.
Don in that freaking hospital bed. He was like a corpse.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, like you're a shit dad. He done gone through all of this. His whole goal was to see you, and you won't even like peek in on him, look at him through the wall, look at him through a window. Oh, there goes Don. You know what I'm saying? Like you never see your son. You're trash. You're trash.
He's probably one of the worst on the list at this point.
When Leorio
Pretty
jawed
simple,
his
too.
ass, I think Leorio
deserved
punched
it.
him in the mouth,
Yeah.
and he totally deserved to be punched in the
Let's
mouth.
go ahead and take
Manga
it.
spoilers, that's why they made him a Zodiac. They were like, Leorio, his popularity skyrocketed after that shit. So he was like one of the more popular hunters. So everyone's willing to follow him, so they made him a Zodiac. I think he's the boar. And he was just like, they had one more position to fill. So he was just sort of like, hey, I got a homie. And they made, so he took Ging's position, because Ging and Harrison stepped down. So he took Ging's position as the boar, and Hosoka took Harrison's position as the rat. And they're both Zodiacs now in the manga.
What does Harrison do?
Harrison is working with Ging, but we don't know what his plan is, but we know he has a bunch of chimera ant eggs. But for some reason, him and Ging are working with each other. They don't trust each other, and they're trying to figure out what's going on.
Like Ging, even
We
though
haven't seen Harrison do shit yet.
even though Ging's, I keep wanting to say curse technique, your inability is cool. That's not cool enough to say.
What is it?
We don't know what Ging's ability. Ging, so that thing he did where he copied Leorio's technique, that was not his hot suit. That was just his mastery of Nin. So we don't know what his hot suit is at all. But Netero definitely says that Ging is stronger than him. So
Which is crazy.
yeah, Ging is ridiculous.
Why didn't they just have Ging fight Harold?
Probably busy. He's an archaeologist and shit. Not to mention Netero really wanted to fight him. that are only out there personally and stuff. I don't know. I don't know the whole reasons. You know, what's his name's a strange writer, so he just got to be. He really just got to be.
I'd been like, gang, you're up, nigga.
I'd like to do an honorable mention. Danny Phantom. His parents were fucked up as hell.
I'm not familiar. I've watched a little bit of Danny Phantom, but I don't know about his parents.
Well, first of all, famous in the fact what happened to him was completely his parents' fault for having all that wild ass shit in the bottom of the thing. Hold on, I'm sorry, Paul. Are you wearing a Black Clover t-shirt?
Yep.
I just realized that shit.
Yeah, it's a Black Clover shirt. I was gonna compliment him on it.
Yeah, that was dope as hell. It was just a quick little shout out right there. It was a little more fucked up. Cartoon parents that we watched.
Didn't they have like a portal to the ghost?
Yes,
Like,
that they were actively working on to catch ghosts, and that's how. Yes, and that's how he became Danny Phantom. That's why I said honorable mention. Kind of fucked up parents, even though he became a superhero and shit. It's still too foul.
I got an honorable mention since they're not really characters. One of my favorite animes is called Future Diary, Mirai Nikki, and the main girl in there, she's very psychopathic. She murdered her parents, but it comes to find out that they were very harsh parents. They used to lock her inside of a cage and stuff like that, and feed her dog food and shit like that. So we find out that she like got them in a situation where she like drugged them and locked them in the cages and stuff like that and let them starve to death. This is before the events of the anime happen. So when the main character goes to kick it at her house and stuff like that, they're in the middle of a death game where people are hunting them and shit like that. So they're kicking it at her house and stuff like that for safety. And like he's in the room and and he's just, nothing's happening. He's just chilling. But his phone, he can see the future on his phone. It's called the Observation Diary. It doesn't tell him anything about himself, but it talks about the world around him. The phone talks about like how he goes into another, he doesn't open up this door and everything is fine. And he was just sort of like, well, what's behind the fucking door? If he's like, nothing's set in stone, me opening up the door can change what the phone's talking about. So it's just sort of like, why did it mention this door? So it's just sort of like his curiosity finally overcomes him, and he looks inside the door and sees her parents' corpses inside the cages in a very long stage of decay.
Wow.
And he runs all the way fucking home. He doesn't say shit, he just dips right there, he bolts, boom, runs all the way home. Gets inside the front door, slams it, leans against it, and he's just like, he's out of breath, and he's just, what the fuck did I just see? And all of a sudden, the mail slot opens, and it's Yuno, and she's just sort of like, I didn't know you were leaving, but good night, sweetie. And it's just the most scary shit of all time. You guys should check out Future Diary if you ever get a chance. It's also a weird
that
anime.
was actually terrifying.
It was.
It's about
So my second worst anime dad.
Hold on. Now let me give you my honorable mention real quick. My honorable mention on terrible anime parents. Also, I just gotta throw this in there. Luffy's mama. Where the fuck have you been this whole time?
What is her fucking name?
I think we got her
Who the
name
fuck-
before, right?
No, we haven't. Who the fuck is Luffy's mama? Where is she? What's she doing? Your son is literally one of the scariest pirates on the planet, and he's trying to overturn the world.
I feel like one of these YouTubers gave her a name before. Unless I'm tripping.
It's
No?
possible. Yeah, honorable mention.
Fucking Luffy's, not Luffy. Finn's dead from Adventure Time.
Oh, yeah.
He left his son in the
That
Candy Kingdom.
motherfucker is a slippery
You
little
know,
bitch.
that son
He's
of
such
a
a
bitch.
traitor.
He's such
Because
a
he's a very manipulative person. So Finn wants to like, in the beginning, Finn wants to like earn his respect and stuff like that. So all he does is use his son, use him to get out of situations.
So
He's like a
much.
wanted like criminal and stuff like that. And there's even a situation where like Finn loses an arm over him, and like Finn forms this weird obsession with wanting to like steal his dad's arm and reattach it as his own or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Adventure Time is a really good show.
It's
Y'all
very
know
deep. It's very deep.
it on the surface it's very silly, and it is that. But like once you like get into it and then go into Finn and Fiona and Cake, it's wild. It's a wild show.
So
Fiona and Cake, the one where they had the buff baby, and I do what I can.
That's the Adventure Time proper. But Baby Finn is in Cake and Fiona.
Yeah, man, that shit, though. That man was so fucking terrible. And he lied on his fucking mom. Was like, it was your mom's ideal and some shit to leave you there and shit. And his mom's didn't even know what the fuck happened to neither one of them. So when he finally meets his mom, she tell him the exact story, what the fuck he did. And he was like, damn. So, yeah, he's a fucking terrible fucking person. He might be one of the worst.
So my second worst dad is Paul Gray Rat.
Oh, Ray Rat?
Yeah,
Oh,
Jobless Reincarnation.
Jobless Reincarnation.
I don't know.
You know me, I'm always on the East guys.
I know exactly what you're talking about, though. This time.
So it's like, he's a shitty dad, but at the same time he's not. Because it's a little complicated and convoluted. Because
No. Let me explain. Alright, he has a wife. He had the main character. Then he has another kid with his wife. But then he hires a fucking, at the same time he hires a new maid that he used to adventure with. He ends up fucking her too.
Plug it into this table right here if you want to.
So he has two little girls the same age from two different women in the same house.
Hey, but in his defense, she admitted that she was trying to seduce him.
Oh, he had to say yes.
He fucked her in the past.
That was the past.
That was her first. So
Don't matter.
she purposely came there to fuck him again.
And after he was told that, he still banged her.
But look at the whole. First off, the entire Gray Rat family are nothing but whores, male and
That was
females.
the quickest I've ever seen Ninja as Warrior Ninja.
I am Tony Shinobi.
So how you defend the guy? You said it was
No. I was defending that particular specific situation.
No.
Now, with that being said, Rudius is the main character. Rudius is a reincarnation. Rudius is reincarnated from like a 30, 40-year-old man. So, growing up, of course, he had full consciousness and awareness of everything that was going on. So he was a very advanced child. Now, while Paul is a fucked up parent, because Paul allowed his son to damn near brainwash and manipulate another little girl, who Rudy said first didn't even know was a girl, into basically becoming his wife when they were fucking like 8. He was training his son and all that, cool, that's fine and dandy. So he was slightly fucked up for this, but the one time Rudy's got in trouble and was blamed for some shit, he automatically was about ready to beat his son's ass when his son was actually in the right for defending the girl from being bullied. Barely wanted to apologize for this shit. When he finally realized that the level of manipulation that was going on, because they were falling in love at 9, and like they was going damn near start fucking at that age too. Like she was completely submissive to him.
Gross. That's
Not the two kids. The two kids.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
That's weird.
but his way of stopping it from happening was fighting his son, beating his ass, and then shipping them all to go live and train under his other family, and essentially being a manservant to their family, to the other half of his family, which he's
he sent away to train one of his side bitches.
Damn, did he fuck her too?
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, he did fuck her too. Hey, in his defense though, she was a sword master, but he wasn't trained by her. He was being sent to be like a manservant to the rest of the family.
Yeah, she ended up
she's
being
a sword master.
Yeah.
That's one
But,
way of putting
well,
it.
no. Rudy is the main character. Is a magical prodigy and is shit with a sword.
She's a sword master. That's
Hey,
one way of
she's
putting it.
also a beast woman, a lion beast woman at that.
That's also another way of putting
Yeah,
it.
he is. I can't think of it.
Oh yeah, I got one. Do you guys know who Heihachi Mishima is?
Hell the fuck yeah.
Heihachi Mishima is the main villain of Tekken 1, and he's a main character all throughout the Tekkens. So he is this martial arts master at the head of this $1 million company that's like very powerful. It's basically like the Yakuza. They call it the Mishima Zaibatsu. And so this guy killed his wife.
In front of his son.
She wanted to stop him from becoming too powerful, so she and Akuma from Street Fighter tried to team up on him, and that shit didn't work. She ended up getting killed by him. I think that didn't Akuma body him though? Like I think Akuma whooped his ass, but I think that might have been afterwards. But anyway, fast forward, he's training his son Kazuya. Kazuya's just a little child, and while they're training, he decides Kazuya's not strong enough and throws this man off of like a 100-foot, 200-foot cliff or something.
Holy fuck.
So Kazuya in Tekken 1 wins the tournament, comes back, beats Heihachi's ass, and throws him off a cliff like he did to him. Heihachi becomes the main character of Tekken 2, climbs back up that mountain, comes and wins the tournament, and decides to throw Kazuya into a volcano. Kazuya's got powers though, so he gets resurrected by this company or whatever, but that's a whole different side story. So now we're moving on to Jin. Kazuya had a son named Jin who was trained by him and his mother June, and they died to this thing called Ogre. It's like this monster that comes back and fights martial artists. So Heihachi uses Jin to fight Ogre. Jin manages to beat Ogre, and then Heihachi comes and betrays him and shoots Jin in the face, and that's when he triggers his own transformation like his dad had and stuff like that. Heihachi remains a stupid villain all throughout the series, dying multiple times until recently. He is not in the most recent Tekken, but instead there's this character named Reina, and she's got all of Heihachi's moves and then some. So she's basically Heihachi's daughter that nobody ever talked about before, and she is the new villain of the game. And she's a psycho. That's Heihachi Mishima.
I do have one more, which I'm surprised that was mentioned.
Worst anime dads, worst just dads. Thor in God of War Ragnarok, in God of War period. Like Thor was a terrible father.
Terrible father.
Absolutely terrible father.
I didn't play it yet.
Thor is
Oh
just a
shit! I'm about to.
Blow your fucking mind.
We're gonna spoil you a bit. Okay, so in Thor 1 in God of War 1. Oh,
I know about God of War 1.
Okay. So, and so then I ain't gonna give you the Ragnarok spoilers, but God of War 1,
He
he
sends
like
his son. Can I talk? Please let me talk. This motherfucker literally sends his two sons to go fight a God of War from another fucking world.
who he
Oh,
knows.
just kill the fucking dragon.
No, who he knows just killed a pantheon of gods. They know
Oh.
this in Asgard that Kratos is here. He
How
just killed off all
badass
the
you
Greek
got to
gods.
be heard from another whole realm of gods? You have to be a bad motherfucker to do that shit. And these motherfuckers want to fuck with him.
And he sends his sons to do it.
They-
Sends your sons. You send your sons, and really, when you find in Ragnarok, I ain't gonna spoil you.
No,
but
but
in Ragnarok,
that's fine.
you do find out that like he really treated them like shit. Like he really treated them like shit.
He was a drunk.
He was a drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he's kind of sympathetic in the fact that the only reason why he's so shitty to his kids is because Odin is a monster towards him. Odin treats Thor like, so I guess the extension is fathers, except for Kratos in God of War. But Odin treats Thor like a tool. Thor is the hammer, essentially, for Odin. I'm gonna point you at this, you gonna kill it. And you're not gonna say nothing to me.
Thor is old versus biggest asshole.
And it just kind of sucks. Like Thor.
I feel like
Thor's
God
a
of
shit.
War Thor makes Marvel Thor look like a little angel and stuff like that. Like, Marvel Thor is kind of like a Boy Scout compared to like Thor from mythology and Thor from God of War.
You might be right, because let me finish. After he sends his sons and they failed to fucking beat Kratos, he beats the cash shit out of one of them, the other one's fucking dead.
Yep.
He beats the dog shit out the other one, the youngest one.
Yep.
And then he had the other son, what was his fucking name? The one he had with Freya? The one that couldn't die and shit from
The one who can't feel pain.
feel pain and shit.
Oh, you
First
talking
game.
about Baldur?
That was the other son.
Oh,
They killed him. He
yeah.
was the first son he sent. And he couldn't fucking feel pain or die. And he got his ass whooped any fucking way.
Can I go in on bad mothers? Cause Freya
Yeah, you guys
is
ready for
fucked up.
I'm not ready for that. Hold on. Can I say, how would we not mention Dragon? Dragon was a shitty ass father.
Hold on.
He's
Let me
pretty
go in on Freya real quick. Freya curses her son. She get a vision that her son's gonna pass away. She curses her son to never feel pain again. So, yay, you're immortal.
Which is
But-
the god that made their son immune to everything but mistletoe.
That's Baldur.
That's well done.
She didn't actually know it was mistletoe that would do it. She had been trying to find ways the whole time to undo the thing on him, to kind of undo her sin. But you kind of cast your son into this fucking imagine spending thousands of years and you never feel a thing. You don't feel the wind on your face on sunny days. He didn't feel the sun. He couldn't make love to a woman and feel that. He can't feel when you fight him. He can't feel anything. He
Crazy
just-
enough, that actually is a real condition.
Yeah, and it's a fucked up condition. Now
It's an
imagine,
exceedingly rare condition too. Like
but
that.
imagine your mom giving it to you. Like,
But-
I'm gonna enchant you magically.
At the same time, did she know that was gonna happen? Because she
Yes.
was just trying to preserve his life.
No, she knew that was gonna happen.
She was trying to keep him alive though.
Nah,
It was straight for a
the
while.
highway to hell is paved with good intentions, and with bearing that in mind,
That's a dope at school.
you don't.
I mean, that was like the mother's love. Let's keep it real. A mother
But-
will fight a fucking bear in order to
But
keep their child
you
safe.
gotta also understand where, like, that is kind of where it becomes an ominous, scary thing. You know what I'm saying? I would curse you to where you would never feel pain again.
Freya's not a perfect person.
No,
At all. She's got
most of
good
the gods
intentions, like
aren't.
you were saying.
because their
like,
perspective is a lot different than everybody else's.
Freya's total, and she understands. Freya's a character. You could tell from the first game that Freya understands that she's made a mistake, and that she's trying to redeem herself.
She forgave.
What's going on?
She forgave.
But I mean, at the same time, you gotta remember, with them, their whole thing was also survival. So I feel like once you're a god, your perspective on everything changes.
I think it's just irrational. It's just like overbearing. It's like, you know, he's already immortal. You just didn't want him to feel
Shit,
pain.
you
is
might
what
have
it
to
was
put
for
Odin
him.
on the list from God of War.
I mean, and then at the same time, yes.
Odin, the All-Father, is one of the worst fathers out there. But at the same time, so is Zeus.
Can I launch in on this fucking Heimdall?
He
Can I
got-
go straight off the
he's
topic
a
on
shit.
Heimdall?
It felt
He's
so
so
good.
garbage.
He's a-
Oh my god, when I got to beat his face in,
Mm.
oh my god, it made me so happy.
I wish you could just replay scenes on that fucking game. I would just replay that shit.
So I would actually like to move on to moms, but I got one more gap on the list, and it's from science fiction and shit like that. You know, you guys know I'm a big fan of 40K,
Yes.
Warhammer 40K, 40,000. The Emperor of Mankind is probably one of the worst dads out there.
Yes.
So he is a psychic powerhouse, and he doesn't exhibit that much emotion. Because he's so psychically powerful, he looks and sounds a different way to everybody. So one actual interesting theory out there, I'm going to talk about the theory first, is there was a giant civil war where half of his sons turned on him and destroyed the galaxy. So the theory is that because the Emperor could see the future, he knew that the Civil War was coming, but he didn't know which sons exactly were on the other side. So the sons he thought were going to be the traitors, he treated like shit in order to put them in bad position and stuff like that. So like there was one son named Angron, and he the Primarchs got separated from him for various reasons I'm not going to get into. So he had to go across the universe and find them. Angron landed on a planet where they made him fight people gladiator style, and when he finally decided he didn't want to, they put a device in his head called the Butcher's Nails, which basically is a pain engine, which puts you in pain constantly unless you're doing violent acts and stuff like that, which kind of soothes it a little bit, and it's destroying him slowly. The Emperor of Mankind found him, and instead of saving all the people that he was fighting with, he just teleported Angron up by himself and just let those people die. And then, when he found out that there was nothing he could do about the Butcher's Nails, he decided to just use Angron as a weapon and let him expire. He's gonna die eventually. We'll just use him until he's gonna die and shit.
Yeah.
His son Lorgar was very religious. He saw the Emperor and the stuff that he could do and thought that he was a god and worshipped him. During the Great Crusade, when he had all his sons conquering the galaxy, Lorgar was moving the slowest because he was not only conquering worlds, but he was turning people to worship the Emperor. And the Emperor found out about that. Not only was he pissed off that he had people calling him a god because he's a fedora-wearing atheist, is what they say on my favorite podcast. He was moving real slow. So he had one of his brothers destroy his favorite world in front of him, and then he made all of his Space Marines, 20,000 people, kneel in front of him psychically. He's like, this is what a god would do. Naturally, a bunch of those sons turned against him. And his favorite son, which he gave everything to, named him the War Master, put him in control of all the armies. This son was the arch traitor and his power was charisma, so he could like all the brothers loved him, and he was just really good at like getting people to like him, and he managed to turn 8 of the other brothers. They started a civil war and destroyed everything. It's all the Emperor's fault.
Yeah.
He also didn't tell those sons that hell exists. That like, hey guys, just so you know, hell exists. It's a thing. You can be swayed to join the forces of hell. He literally never tells them that. So here they are after the half of the brothers turn. The other half are fighting the forces of hell, and this is something they're finding out about for the very first time. So you fighting something you yesterday I didn't even know this shit existed. It's like
Space demons.
fucking space demons.
Fucking space demons. Fucking awesome. But also better. Before we know what to say.